Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope that you will enjoy it. If you do, please do not leave without leaving a like and also subscribing. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you a million times, my love. I love and appreciate you so much. Now today's hit is hectic. It's almost unbearable, but my windows are open, so if you hear any noises, right now it's super quiet, but if you do hear any noises, please forgive me. I will not be able to close my windows because it's super hot. Anyways, I'm just having water. Today I thought I should share with you guys the biggest lesson that I learned in my 20s. I'm still in my 20s. I'm 27. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I learned in my 20s, or even before that. Like I've said, I think a million times, I've always been someone who just like would literally sit with my thoughts. That has helped me in so many ways. However, it has hurt me in a number of ways too, but I've learned a lot from things that I watch, the people that I listen to, whatever it is that I consume. I've learned so much, but today I thought I would just share this one biggest lesson, to me at least, that I have learned in my 20s. I feel like we live in a society where we are constantly looking at the next person's life, what the person is doing, what they've been through, sometimes to judge them, even though we might not want to admit it, or most times to compare their lives to ours. And I think that is something that most of us suffer from when you are a person that is not happy with the life that you have, or with the decisions that you have taken in your life, and therefore you want to look at someone else's life to see if their lives are worse, so that you can feel better about your life. And most of the time we end up judging those people. However, I think even though I have, what do I want to say? I've always believed that I am an empath, and I feel other people's heartache or sadness or anything like that. But I don't think that you have to be an empath or anything like that to know and learn this lesson. Guys, people have gone through the worst, and it is not written on their faces. I remember I bumped into this channel on YouTube that is called Soft White Underbelly. Do yourself a favor and go and watch that channel. I noticed that someone here in South Africa, another person's channel here in South Africa, was also trying to do something like that, but I don't think they actually went through with it. They had like 1 or 2 videos and then they stopped. I don't know the reason, but I think that is such a good project to carry out and do, to show people that life can be so unfair to other people. And basically the biggest lesson that I have learned from all those videos that I was watching is that don't be quick to judge. Don't be quick to look at someone's life and tell yourself that you know them. Or even if you don't tell yourself that you know them, you judge them for the things that they do. I believe that, and I know it from myself even, that you will never know what someone has gone through or is currently going through until you actually listen to their stories. the stories that I've heard from those people, the person was interviewing prostitutes, drug addicts, all those things that we as a people look down on. Those people were actually sharing their lives and what they have gone through. And I'm telling you, 90%, if not more, 90% of those people had a terrible, terrible childhood. I remember this other girl. There was one that really stood out to me, and this girl actually trended she was trending on YouTube for the longest time, because someone had caught attention of those videos that the interviewer was shooting, of the progression of, actually the regression of, is that a word? I don't know. The what I'm trying to say is, her health was degrading over time. She had turned to drugs, she had turned to prostitution, and she was doing all these things basically to survive, to kind of get out of her head. Her first interview, my gosh, she is a pretty lady, very beautiful girl. She's plump, she had like big boobs, she had like some weight, you know what I mean? Like, she was not that big, but she had some weight, and she looked beautiful, she looked so pretty. Few months after that, she was on drugs. She was still looking proper. Few months after that, it was so quick. She was so thin when she went back there. She was just looking very bad, and obviously she was not thinking straight. She was starting to sound like a crazy person. And there were other ladies that were there. I remember this one that also stuck in my head, where she was telling her childhood story. She was adopted by this couple, and this man was forcing himself on her, on this little girl, and she was still a child then. She would even tell stories where this man would literally chase him around the house, and the wife was also there, not doing anything. And this other time, this man forced himself on her, and there was like, she literally was unconscious for a while, and when she woke up, there was like a puddle of blood under her. I'm not trying to give you guys too much information and I'm scare you. It is very graphic. As a result, I stopped watching those videos because I just couldn't take it. Like I said, I think I feel other people's pain very deeply, and it does affect me. And so sometimes when I watch stuff like that, I have to limit myself, because I literally physically get sick. I get so angry, and I can feel that my body is saying, no, it's time to stop. You know what I mean? But even though I stopped watching those videos, I learned a very important lesson: to never judge anyone. Look at their lives and the decisions they've made and judge them. Yes, it is good to advise someone and try to help them to do better, but never come and say, oh, you know what I mean, and be judgmental. Even though we are people, we are not a perfect people. When someone does something that affects other people, we are bound to judge them. You know what I mean? We are bound to judge them. If you do something, if you make a decision that you shouldn't have, but it doesn't only affect you yourself, but it affects other people, yes, people are going to judge you because you're messing up your life, but not just your life, but someone else's life too. For example, I'm going to give an example. If you are a parent, you decide to have a baby, you decide to bring a life into this world, and when the child is here, you decide now that you don't want to do this anymore. It's too hard for you, but you don't go about it the right way. You leave that child to gallivant the streets, and you are busy like now doing, for example, what I was talking about, you become a prostitute, you do drugs, and you do this and you do this, and forget that you had made the decision to bring a life into this world, but now you're turning around and you're giving into the traumas that you had gone through as a child or as an adult, and you decide to do the worst. Obviously, people are going to judge you, because now the decisions that you are making are not only affecting you, but they're affecting someone else that is innocent. But what I'm saying is, if someone is doing something in their life that affects them, they don't do anything to hurt someone else, and you think that those decisions are not good, you're allowed to think like that. But what I'm saying is, never be quick to judge someone, because you really don't know what is fueling those decisions that they make, regardless of how horrible they are. And also, we should also try to avoid bashing other people because we don't feel good about our lives. I know we're not perfect, and sometimes when you are not satisfied with where you are as a person, you're not satisfied with the type of person that you are, what you have, what you've achieved, what you've done in life, you want something that's going to make you feel better. And that could be seeing someone else having having things worse than you know what I mean, and you want to make fun of that because it makes you feel good, but it doesn't help. You know what I mean? Like, it's not worth it. But yeah, I don't know if I diverted from my topic, but I just wanted to share that biggest lesson with you guys. I see it very often, especially also coming from a very small town in a small black neighborhood, where you see these little girls being labeled names. Like, for instance, you see these young kids starting to date around, or starting to be active with their boyfriends and stuff like that, and switching from one boy to the next boy and all of that. And we want to call them names and judge them. You don't know what those kids are going through. The best thing you can do is to sit that child down and try to advise them. I say this because I've been that girl before, and I was not okay, let me not say that. I was not promiscuous in any way. If I had a boyfriend, I'd have one boyfriend. Yes, I wouldn't give myself a chance to breathe and be by myself, because I couldn't. I felt like I couldn't. You know what I mean? That was a coping mechanism for me to feel like somebody loves me, somebody's gonna protect me, somebody would do anything for me. I think that was a coping mechanism for me. But I would say that I've been those type of little girls before, and judging them doesn't do anything. It doesn't help them. It only makes the situation worse. I want us to, when you see someone making bad decisions, especially someone whom you know doesn't know better, like a kid, let us think of the fact that you don't know the reason behind it. You don't know what that person is going through. And most times, they too don't know the reason behind it. Can you imagine? They're also doing these things, and they are not aware of what is driving them to do those things. They just think it's normal. But later in life, they start realizing that, no, actually, I think I was suffering from this. This is what was happening to all those people that were being interviewed then. They would tell their stories and be like, oh yeah, I'm a prostitute, I do drugs, and. But then the interviewer would say, tell me about your childhood. Let's go back there. And they start talking about it. And a light bulb comes on, and it's like, shit, I'm traumatized. That's literally what it is. I never dealt with my trauma. I never gave myself a chance to deal with it so that I can be a better person who will make better decisions in a better mindset. I just was on survival mode. So yeah, that's the biggest lesson, and I think it's a very beautiful thing to learn and understand. It will stop you from being judgmental when it comes to things that you don't understand. It will stop you from gossiping about other people. It will stop you from looking at other people's lives to make yourself feel better or to be judgmental. So yeah, I thought I should share that with you guys. If you have anything that you learned in your 20s, the biggest lesson that you learned in your 20s, I'd like to hear what you think is the most important thing that you learned. Even if you say, I'm in my early 20s, this is what I've learned when I was a teenager, whatever. Tell me down below what you have learned so that we can teach each other and yeah, be better people basically. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you guys on my next one. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, and share the video. I'll see you next time. Bye.